People say I defended Charles Taylor. No, I did not.
You did not?
No, people don't understand. I came to represent Charles Taylor after he was sentenced for 50 years imprisonment, and after his appeal has been concluded. Okay? That is when Charles engaged me. You know who was his lawyer before me?
Who was?
The current prosecutor of the International Criminal Court was his first lawyer.
Khan.
Khan.
Ah.
And Khan left. Then Courtney Griffiths, King's Counsel of the United Kingdom, one of the most famous black lawyers in the world, represented Charles Taylor.
We remember him on, he gave most of the interviews on BBC at the time.
Exactly. Yeah. Huh? And Courtney was my friend as well. So when Courtney left, Cherno Jallow represented Charles Taylor. Cherno Jallow is now aspiring to be a judge in contest with Batambedu to become a judge at the International Court of Justice.
Cherno Jallow?
Charles Jallow.
Okay, I was going to ask whether of the CRC.
No.
Okay,
Charles Jallow of Sierra Leone.
Okay.
All right? And then when all those were done, then Charles engaged me, because I am one of those unique lawyers at the ICC, or the International Criminal Bar, who is a top investigator and a top trial lawyer. Okay? So that's why my services are highly sought after. So Charles, his complaint was, okay, first, people don't understand that Charles Taylor was not investigated or prosecuted for crimes committed in Liberia. Charles was investigated and prosecuted for crimes committed by the RUF in Sierra Leone.
Revolutionary United Front.
Okay? And the reason is because Charles had allegedly provided weapons and financing to the RUF to go and fight in Sierra Leone. Isn't that what America does on a daily basis? Isn't that what all these Western powers do? Wasn't that which brought Charles Taylor to become head of state of Liberia? He escaped prison in the US. How did he get to Liberia? How did he get the arms to come and overthrow Samuel Doe in Liberia? But this is something that states do on a daily basis. Wasn't Jammeh doing that for Casamance? He was doing that. So countries or heads of state often provide weapons or financing to rebel groups in other countries.
Do you know if Barrow is doing that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I hope he isn't. So that should not be a basis to prosecute any head of state and sentence them to 50 years in prison. But Charles's case was unique. Charles had a falling out with the US. My guess is he therefore deserved to be punished. And therefore, they did this to punish him. I happen to be, because this area of practice is very small, all the players, we all know each other. I know all those who prosecuted Charles. In fact, if I would have access to my bag, I could show you the invitation to Charles Taylor's final day in court when he was being judged and sentenced. I was invited because some of those who prosecuted Charles are people that I have trained or people I have worked with. So we all know each other. We are all friends. We militate around the same circles. So therefore, Charles was sentenced because he is an African leader who had fallen out of favor with the U.S. government, and he was prosecuted for everything that for something that the U.S. does on a daily basis. Charles is the first head of state who is sentenced, convicted and sentenced for providing support to armed forces or rebel groups of another country. He was not prosecuted for crimes he has committed in Liberia. So Charles's human rights violation in Liberia was not an issue.